Hey friend, Alex here from Audio Edges, and this is the session we're going to be working in. In this session, even though it looks simple, are 3 vocal effects that you can use to mix music. And I would go as far as to say, if you learn these 3 effects, you can basically have a vocal effects approach to mixing any modern song. So stay until the end, because by the end of this video, you're going to be able to have all sorts of techniques that you can use to make your music more interesting and to compete in today's modern music environment. I mix music full-time, and these are some of the effects that I love most. Make sure you stick until the end, because I'm also going to give you a special gift. And without further ado, let's have a look. I'm going to mute this vocal. Check out the beat we got. Okay, so this is really simple. I have a vocal here that sounds like this.
You said this was goodbye. That's when I realized.
Okay, and let's mute the effects that we have here, okay? We're going to start from scratch together and break it all down. Now, you don't need to worry about the vocal processing in this video. We're going to be talking about the effects. And the first one, going from kind of easier to a little bit trickier, but this is all stuff that can still be done at a beginner level with really good results, okay? This first one is going to be called a delay throw. So what the heck are we looking at here? This is our vocal track. Okay, and all I've done is automated a send. I've set up a send here, just a regular send called delay, and I'm grabbing the ends of a couple different words here. Okay, I'm grabbing the ends of this word and this word. So here's what it sounds like.
I can't live without you.
So I've sent without you, just the out you, and I've sent
I want you and only you.
Okay, the word you I've also sent. And that is being sent to this delay right here. And on here, I have repeater. This is just a delay from Slate Digital. This is actually a really good delay that I've been really enjoying lately. You could use any delay for this, as long as you can get a quarter note. And I've kind of filtered out the lows up until around, like getting close to 100 hertz. So just the lowest of the lows. And then I'm also filtering off the top. So it kind of has an underwater type of sound to it. It sounds like this.
I can't live without you. I want you and only you.
And this is the trick to doing it this way, because with these vocal delay throws, it's called a throw because you're automating this and kind of throwing it to the delay only on particular words. The reason that I like to do it this way versus duplicating the track and then copying and pasting stuff is because you can specifically choose the word and the specific words you want to go to the delay. So I can have the delay not ring out on these words and only ring out on these words. And I have it going on a quarter note. Make sure you sync your delay to the time of the song. See that? Okay. And
I can't live without you. I want you and only you.
There we go. So that is the first vocal effect of the 3 that we got here. That is going to make this vocal really interesting. Now, the next is I just have a bit of reverb on it, but this isn't what I'm considering one of the 3 effects. I've just added a bit of reverb, and all I have on here is just a preset from Verb Suite by Slate Digital. You can use any reverb.
When you said this was goodbye, that's when I realized.
Okay, and I've just got a little bit of the vocal sending to that reverb. Now, there is something we'll do with the reverb on the 3rd vocal effect, but let me show you vocal effect number 2. This is to use a little bit of formant shifting on your vocal. And the same way we automated this delay throw, we're actually going to automate this plugin. So in Pro Tools, I can hold Control, Option, Command, and click on the parameter I want to use automation for. So in this case, I've already set it up, so it's allowing me to disable it. I'm going to do it from scratch with you guys. So I'll delete what I had. Let's go Control, Option, Command. Every DAW has a way to do this. So a quick Google search or ChatGPT of this will give you the way to do it. And you're going to enable automation for the parameter. So I'm not automating the bypass button. I'm automating this formant knob. And as soon as I've enabled that in here, look what I can do. I can now go into my plugin window here and choose the formant, which now I have an automation line for. How cool is that? Now, here is what makes this second effect a little more advanced and super cool. we can now take this formant, which is set at 0. And if you don't know what a formant does, let me show you, okay? Very obvious.
I can't live without you.
All right, you've probably heard that before. That's just this formant knob going down.
I can't live without you.
And up. You can do it any direction. But what we're going to do is just a subtle shift on the same word that we just threw to the delay. It's the exact same spot. And what this is going to do is create an interesting delay and also a little bit of a weird kind of interesting sound on these words. And all I'm going to do is not go crazy, but just pitch this down a little bit. So see how I can draw in the semitones here? And the plugin will follow suit. So look at that.
I can't live without you.
And it's just going down a little bit. So I'll Formant shift a little more. How far are we? We're only 2 semitones down in Formant. Remember, this is not pitch, so the pitch isn't changing. It's the tone that is being Formant shifted. So listen to this.
I can't live without you.
Let me bring this U down even more.
Can't live without you. I want you.
I like that. That's sounding good. So you just kind of set it up. So obviously it's an unnatural type of sound, but you don't want it to sound too unnatural because it'll just be a little bit too cheesy in this particular circumstance. But we just want a little bit of a weird effect. And the cool part is because we've done this on the channel strip of the vocal itself, this is a plugin on the channel strip of the vocal. We've put this on the vocal. That means this information is being sent to that delay. And when we hear that delay coming back, it's being delayed, that delay we set up, with this formant shift. And this formanted, weird sounding vocal that we've done right here is the part sent to the delay.
Can't live without you.
How cool is that? So without, it sounds like this.
I can't live without you.
Just a regular delay. And now we have the vocal effect a little bit, and that's being sent to the delay.
I can't live without you.
So it just makes the song sound a little more interesting. You could be more aggressive with it, less aggressive with it. I like kind of a mostly subtle approach.
I can't live without you.
And to me, that is just an amazing tool that you can use in modern music to make the vocal a little more interesting, to emphasize just a few particular words and send that to the delay of effect number 1. Now, are you ready for effect number 3? This one I'm really excited about. I think you're going to like it. And you can use this tastefully. It works really well as a drop or something before any type of chorus. And it sounds like this.
I can't live without you. I want you and only you.
Okay, so strategically in the instrumentation, I've just got a few loops here that I put together from Splice. And I've got a riser here, right? And a little drum fill. Okay? And then nothing. Dead silence except for the vocal. And that, if you can match your instrumentation to follow this effect, it's gonna make this effect hit even harder. So mute all your instrumentation for just that bar where this effect is coming.
I can't live without you. I want you and only you.
Right? So cut out all instrumentation there, have it come all back in on the one, on that word. And here's how we're going to set this up. What we need to do is with our delay, right? Obviously, there's nothing really being sent at this point. And the main thing to consider is this word from before could be still ringing out. And so what we want to do is take our reverb and take our delay. And both, when this is happening, we want to automate the return track, not the send track, because it's just being, the send from before could still be ringing into the next line. So we want to go to the return track to make sure we have dead silence. You know what I mean? So for example, if I just take the send, this is the reverb send, okay? That's what we're on, reverb send. If I just take this out here, I still have these couple of words, and that'll ring through this gap still.
I want you and only.
Did you hear how I want was still ringing out in the reverb?
I want you and only.
So we don't want that. We don't want that. I want. All right. What we want to do is go to our reverb return on this pause. We're going to pick where it's happening, mute the instrumentation, and in this little spot, we're going to automate out, mute essentially the reverb. And I like to do a little fade on each end because it just feels a little bit better.
I want you and only you.
And then on that word you, the reverb comes back in. So listen right here if I solo this.
I want you and only you.
You hear that? And by fading in that automation, that's avoiding a click there.
I want you and only you.
And you hear that delay on the U because I have that automated delay there. Okay, this is from effect number 1, the delay throw. Effect number 2, we got that cool little formant shifted vocal there. And just to make sure it's out of the way, come effect number 3, we're going to automate out the delay return just the way that we did the reverb. Okay. Now, you're probably wondering, how do I get that cool, crunchy sound on this vocal? Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to set up a send to a track you can just call saturation. And this is just going to be a saturated or distorted track. I'm sending the vocal at unity gain. Okay, so this is a send, and it's just being sent at unity gain. I'm not automating the send because I'm actually just automating the return track in this case. This is the volume automation of the return track. Let's bring it up so you can see it right next to each other. And what's happening is this saturation is happening the whole time.
This was goodbye.
But it's all muted. This is all negative infinity. Once that effect hits, I brought it up. So check this out.
I want you and only you.
Okay, now let's do this pre-fader and listen to it on its own. Okay. Okay, so it's just on those words. And on it, I have decapitator with modern drive setting. I'm driving it hard. I've got it all the way wet, right? So basically just put a distortion on the track. And after that, I'm filtering it. I'm filtering out the lows, right? After that decapitator plugin, filtering out the lows, filtering out the highs, and I'm boosting some of these telephony frequencies. You don't need to get too crazy with this. See all these like weird bypass things? That's just me experimenting with it. And this is kind of the setting I settled on. So filtering out the lows, filtering out the highs. If I didn't do that, here's how it would sound. And so there's just a bit of that like underneath in the frequencies. This just cleans it up. That's what it sounds like once you filter it, clean it up. Sounds a lot better, right? Okay, so now what I've done with the lead vocal is only one thing, and that is blend the regular lead vocal, which is the nice clean processing, with the saturation. And I've done that by actually automating the volume of the lead vocal down, because I find the saturation hits harder if it's a little bit more forward and balanced with the vocal. If I have the vocal full blast, the saturation sounds a bit too quiet behind it, and it doesn't have the same impact in that spot where all the instrumentation pauses.
I want you and only you.
Right? But if I bring that lead vocal down, it's just making a bit more room for the saturation to come through. So here's with the automation.
I want you and only you.
Right? So that's the idea. And then the saturation comes out on the word you, and the lead vocal fades back into full volume. So just do it really tastefully, okay?
I want you and only you.
And that right there is effect number 3. Let's listen to this all together, but don't go anywhere yet because I have a gift for you in just a moment.
When you said this was goodbye, that's when I realized I can't live without you. I want you and only you.
There you have it, 3 vocal effects that you can use to change your game and level up right now this year. I have a very special gift for you sticking around. If you're wondering maybe how I process that vocal or how I mix music in general day to day, I have something you're gonna love. It's called the Home Mixing Cheat Sheet, and it has all sorts of go-to settings for EQ, compression, which effects are really common for a whole list of instruments. And if you just print this out or just have the PDF open next to you while you're working on a song, you're gonna have starting points for EQs, compression, and it's gonna help you get to a good sounding result a lot faster than playing that guessing game on your own. So that's absolutely free, and you can download it at the link in the description now. Otherwise, my friend, if you enjoyed this, subscribe to the channel because we have much more coming for you soon, and I was really happy to hang out with you today. So I'll see you in the next video.